Hello. This Sefer Devarim is called one book of the 5 books. It's one part of the 5 books called Chumash. Why it's called Chumash? Chumash is like the number Chamesh, 5. And this is Dvarim, the last book of this Sidra, the whole books. So you have to know that this Dvarim, it's a repeat to all those important things that happened from they go out from Egypt. So if it's repeat what happened with Israel, why it's not remind Abraham Avinu, Yaakov Avinu? Oh, what's happened with that? They are the basic of Israel nation. But Moshe is talking about the point that Israel became a nation, and it's different because Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov were families, not a nation. Okay? And from Yaakov, it starts. But when they accept the Torah, they became a nation. Because there are 3 parts that we make ourselves one big connection with God. Torah, God, and Israel. So God became something real by the Torah. When Israel, all of them are make the mitzvot as well as a group. It's different. Okay? It's another form, another planet. So that's why this book starts from here, from the desert. And another question, why to repeat? Why to repeat again of all those things? So you have to know that Moshe was the biggest leader and the biggest prophet that talked face to face with God. And he was the leader that we created with him as a nation. And he wanted to separate himself from Israel, his brothers. And he became old, and he knew that he finished in a few years, and he passed to Yeshua, the leading of Israel. So he wanted to talk the last words for Israel and to warn them again, behave good. And therefore he mentioned the 10 Aseret HaDibrot, 10 principles. Why? Because this is the point that Moshe and Israel and God, by the Torah, is the link. The Torah is the link between God and Israel. And who is the like Boreg, I just say screw, yeah, is Moshe. He is do it the maximum that Israel will keep the Torah. So the Ma'amad Har Sinai, we call it Ma'amad Har Sinai, the time that Israel accept the Torah. So we called it this book, Dvarim, there is another name. It's called Mishneh Torah. Mishneh Torah. What is Mishneh? Like Sheni, like second. Okay? It's not, the Torah ended in Bamidbar. Bereshit, Shemot, Vayikra, Bamidbar. That's it. This is the Torah. And now, Devarim, and Devarim is Mishneh Torah, and it's the second. Not real the second. It's the including from the point when Israel go out from Egypt. So what is so important in this book is a big musar, hard words that Moshe didn't say before to Israel. Now he is forced himself because he is older and he will never see them again until the Geula, when we will see the Mashiach, and Moshe will come with the whole generation that died in the desert. He will lead them to Israel, like they continued when they stopped and not get inside to Israel. He will take them now, Moshe, in the head of this whole big people. I don't know how many, wow, millions will come with Moshe to Israel. And we will see that, I believe, of course. So that's why before he died, he can say everything. And nobody will agree about him and quarrel with him. No, there were silence. Because now they know how it's expensive leader that he desired to die for them. And he fight for them at heaven and to forgiveness to them and everything. And now he can say everything, the musar, the very hard words, and they accept. Even so that when they get inside to Israel, happens a few things, bad things, but without those words of Moshe, it was a bad, very bad situation. So that's what we are thankful for this book. And there is another mitzvot in Kiteseh in the last, a lot of mitzvot, new mitzvot, but the spirit of this book is a lot of musar. So I hope you Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Va'Ethchanan, and it's a segula, like a good time for praying and to beg Hashem to everything you need. Thank you very much, and have a good Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom from Israel.